Hello and good morning. My name's Dylan and today you found me at JFK Terminal 4 checking into Virgin Atlantic flight number 26. The good news is that I'm going to London, but the bad news is that I'm doing it on one of Virgin Atlantic's old A330-300s instead of their new swanky Neos. But it's okay though, because as you're about to find out, it wasn't so bad after all. And some more good news for those of you wondering, the check-in process today was very quick and easy, and the agents were super nice. Unlike the ones at TSA per usual. Gosh, they are mean here. Once through security here at Terminal 4, you are forced to walk through a very tempting duty-free section, but lucky for me and my wallet, everything was closed. Mostly because it was 4 in the morning. See, there are some benefits flying this early. B28 will be my gate this morning, or you could call it my school gym, mostly because I ran around it for 3 hours getting video footage. And lucky for you, none of it turned out very good, meaning it didn't end up in this video. So instead, here's some footage of the A330 taking me to London. And welcome on board. My eyes are already hurting, mostly because of how purple it is in here, so I'm counting on the friendly flight attendant to show me where seat 41A is. That's the spot. Looking around at this cabin for the first time, it actually doesn't look that bad. Laid out in a 2-4-2 configuration, these red and maroon seats look quite cozy, especially with pillows and blankets on them. In addition to the pillows and blankets at these seats, there is also a very tiny IFE screen and a broken singular USB port, which, yes, is all you have. And, lucky for me, it also looks like buried deep down in the seat back pocket we have some headphones, which you can now watch me struggle to open and then eventually give up. After pushing back from the gate and taxiing through a very hectic morning here at JFK, it is finally time to get off the ground. Which, by the way, you can find the full unedited takeoff footage in the description below. Now that we're up in the air and I'm all cuddled up in my red Virgin blanket, let's take a look at the entertainment they have to offer. Seems like we have a nice selection of movies, TV shows, and music, but that does not make up for the unresponsiveness of this screen. I mean, look at how long it took me to open the in-flight map. About 40 minutes into the flight attendants came around with breakfast, which was served in these super cute cardboard boxes. But sadly, the whole experience can be summed up into one word: blueberries. This is not a joke. The entire meal consisted of blueberry products. In the box, there was a cup of yogurt, a muffin, and a granola bar. All blueberry, of course. And sadly for me, I don't like blueberries, so I decided to sip on my orange juice in sadness while the breakfast service wrapped up. Why don't I ever like anything? After doing my usual loo review, I soon after realized that I got stuck in the rear galley, which meant waiting 20 minutes for the flight attendants to finish a useless after-breakfast drink service. I mean, come on, why does this stuff only happen to me? And also, why did the only open bathroom have to be in the back of the plane? And as if I hadn't spent enough money on the ticket for this flight already, of course the flight attendants had to come through doing duty-free service, which usually isn't a problem for me, but because they had model planes meant I would be spending £16 on a model 787. It was definitely worth it though, because that thing's going on my shelf the second I get home. Before I could even get a notification that I was in credit card debt after buying that plane, the flight attendants began the meal service to calm my nerves. And lucky for me, it did. Unlike the last meal service, there were options this time, and good news, they were chicken and pasta. Of course, with how many wrong choices I've made today, I messed up again, picking the super dry pasta, so the rest of this will do. Unless someone can get me a gallon of water to eat this thing. After destroying my lunch and drinking about a gallon of water, we had about 90 minutes left in the flight, and that means it's time to relax. But the flight attendants must have known this because they came around with tea, which also meant it was my first time trying it. The bad news though is that even after putting milk and sugar in it, it still tasted like wet cardboard. Now that we are on final approach into London Heathrow, it's time I tell you my final thoughts about the Virgin Atlantic A330-300 experience. Overall, it was incredible. The seats, although were old, they were very comfortable. And even though the food wasn't the best, it still kept me alive. Also, with being served by the amazing crew, it made it taste just a bit better. So in the end, fly Virgin Atlantic. But if you can, don't fly the old A330. Try flying a newer plane, and paired with Virgin's amazing in-flight experience, it should be a good flight. So this is Dylan, saying goodbye from London Heathrow, and I want to thank you for watching. Even though this was a long video, I can't wait for you to see what I have to show you next.